I'm okay with Fringe. I think Fringe is a great map, but I'm not sure how Fringe plays with no wall running and no jetpacks. I mean, I feel like Fringe is like a map where you kind of need those things. In 2025, EWC requires all orgs to have every qualified roster using exact same name. So instead of their CDL branding, it has to be their actual non-city branding. Love it. Love this.
Well, first of all, they're doing it.
I mean, I prefer Boston Breach. Fine with G2. Optic Gaming, of course. FaZe Clan. C9, Gentlemaid, 100 Thieves.
First of all, that's what we did last year. But now what they're doing is...
I mean, this is a W, bro. Luma.
It is a W on the surface, right? But behind this...
Luminosity's back. No fucking way. Luminosity's back. Koi is Ultra. Rogue is...
Yo, man, how do we get Mixwell back in Optic content? Lonely John, 1978. Man, wouldn't that be a fucking sight to be seen? I don't know. Isn't it bad for branding? In terms of what, Twiz? What's bad for branding? Using the original or using the secondary? Hey, Hecz, you're gonna watch the Europa League final? I don't know. Yeah, I kind of have to, I think. My sister-in-law, her husband, and Leo, my brother-in-law, and Jude are super sports fans. So if that's what's on, I'm gonna have to. Not have to, I get to.
Vegas Falcons, right? LG is Vancouver, right? Yeah, I know LG is Vancouver. Rogue has to be Vegas Falcons, right? There's no way Rogue still owns Vegas Falcons.
Rogue is not. Rogue is Falcons. No, Rogue is Ravens.
Falcons though, right? Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of sorry, I'm tripping. I'm thinking of yes, I'm fucking bugging. Ravens is what I meant, sorry.
Lonely John 1978. Yes, Mixwell, my young brother, is his own owner of his own team. Ota. For you guys, Twisini, for you guys, not so much Optic, but for others trying to build, I don't know, if Oxygen Esports, Boston Breach, yeah. Again, it's one of those scenarios where this is the thing that it affects, like the damage that this league has caused, not just to the esport, but to all of the ancillary things that made that this esport as great as it is. Like, we're suffering that, like, today, and we're seeing it because everything is just fucking up for grabs. We have a game, we have a tournament post champs, like that. Need I go further?
Rogue is not Heretics, no. I didn't realize Rogue. I thought Rogue sold Ravens. Koi is not Ravens. Koi is Toronto Ultra.
Yeah.
Koi is Toronto Ultra. The rumors of Call of Duty 2025 so far, set in 2035, a sequel to Black Ops 2, multiplayer, omni movement with wall running, to include Black...
Yo, Tozini, that's what... we all wanted that. We all wanted that. It's way past due that we get rid of city-state shit. I don't know if it's way... Oh, yeah, it is way past.
Black Ops 2 maps remastered and futuristic theme also include new maps. That might make me hard. That actually sounds fantastic. And pick 10 would be sick. I saw the future of FaZe vs Optic at Major 4. I saw the future of what happens when FaZe vs Optic and Winners Round 2 at Major 4. It starts backstage. FaZe is confident. They have been running Optic. Draza looks down. His shoe is untied. Fuck it, he thinks to himself.
Yo, I didn't know that Draza's wife was the one that was customizing his shoes. So now I guess I get why he like points at him and stuff, but she snaps on those things. She snaps. Speaking of which, I'm not done customizing the ones that I have to. Another one of the reasons why I didn't want to go live today. Another one of the reasons why I shouldn't have gone live today, but I decided to show up anyway because I am pushing all of like actual work and responsibilities. All right, here we go.
The CEO, it doesn't matter. He ignores it and gets ready for his walkout. As they're walking on stage, the unthinkable happens. Draza steps on his shoelace and trips. What ensues is pure chaos. He knocks into Celium, which causes a chain reaction, knocking all four of them down like dominoes. There are broken bones everywhere. People are screaming. Babies are crying. What the fuck am I reading?
Yes.
If Hecz don't make finals at Major 4, this will be the second time in Sim's career he went 2 events without making a final. Dude, what an insane statistic. What an absolutely...
Let's look at this, okay? Major 4 will be Sim's 41st event. Let's take a look at some ridiculous number from his fucking insane numbers from Sim, the pimp, walking with a limp. Average tournament placing 2.52, number 1 in COD history. He's the best placing dude in COD history. He's won 33% of all events. That's a third of all events competed in. Grand final 68% of events. Insanity. 34-6 career record in first matches of a tournament. Only once in his career has he gone 2 tournaments in a row without a finals appearance. Major 3 through 4 in Modern Warfare 2. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Ballistic statistic. This guy's a real piece of shit, dude. Average placing 2.52, number 1 in COD history. Won 33% of all events competed in. Grand finals and 68%
That's some godly shit right there.
of events. 34-6 career record in first matches of a tournament. Only once in his career has he gone 2 tournaments in a row without a finals appearance. Dude, that stat is...
Why did we start using City? Why did we start using City? Well, because this is what happened, okay? Traditional sports owners were seeing what was happening in esports. And because it had sports in it, they said, okay, well, that's the future. Their kids were saying, pop, pop, dad, dad, uncle, uncle, grandpa, grandpa. Are you paying attention? The amount of viewership that's happening over here. Less time is being spent on watching television, dad, grandpa, uncle, whatever. They're not watching sports on TV anymore. The kids are watching whatever's on this thing right here. Okay, that's what people are watching now. So you got to get in there. And they're like, okay, well, let's do the same thing that we did in traditional sports. We're going to base it around the city. That way, esports brands won't have as much of a difficulty to gain a fan base by localizing events, and you sort of build the fandom. Their loyalty to the city that they grew up in is going to build fandom.
Is insane.
It made no sense.
Wow. That's actually crazy.
It made no sense specifically and especially because we were saying, it's like, yo, that's not how fucking... You can't fool the youth. You cannot fool the youth that has grown up with the internet. You cannot fool them. You're not gonna just fucking say, hey, this fucking Frisco, the Frisco mountain valleys. That's who you support because you're from there. You can't fool the youth is what I kept fucking screaming at the top of my lungs. Let's go Stallions. Necessity 710. You're in the wrong stream, bro. We weren't talking about that right now. Old heads getting involved. Yeah, like old heads. You know, not gonna lie, it worked to a degree. It doesn't work in the grand scheme of esports, but listen, it's just Greg. Hold on. This is because I'm Boston and it's my home team. Okay, let me reread this. It doesn't work in the grand scheme of esports, but I now somewhat support Boston Breach because I'm Boston and it's my home team. Yes, that is right. So it kind of worked with you. The majority of the people, and I don't want to point out, I don't want to go open up fucking people's social medias and all that shit, and I don't want to talk shit to no teams. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at who throws events and who doesn't. From year one, City of State has now been so many changes with the team. ATL Face hasn't hosted an event yet. So much for local fan base, right? Yeah, well, they did host one. And you got to understand, man. You got to understand that some owners aren't hosting events for a very specific reason. And it is them saying, why the fuck would I go that much into a 50-50 partnership? You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck would we go and do 70% when the 50 isn't even met from the part? Big up to Hecz looking fresh with that crispy cut. What crispy cut? What crispy cut, man? This one? LAT is labeled LA, but they play out of Dallas. Again. The internet is the internet. It is the greatest thing. All all the bad shit aside. If you know what should be happening nowadays, is that NFL teams, NBA teams, and all these other teams just drop their city name and they just call themselves the Warriors. They just call themselves the Mavericks. They just call themselves the Cowboys. Okay, and no longer the Dallas Cowboys, no longer the Dallas Mavericks, no longer the fucking what was it? No longer the Los Angeles. They're just the Lakers. No, just make it Dallas. You can't make it Dallas. We're talking about going away from. See, you're saying too far, okay? But if I'm Jerry Jones and I own the Dallas Cowboys, and I know that if I drop the term Dallas and I can get more Cowboys, let's get a superstar fucking quarterback, a superstar quarterback that everybody fucks with, okay? Because he's just a cool dude and everybody fucks with him. But me, a person from Chicago, even though I am a quarterback person, I can't follow him because he's part of a different team. But now imagine if he was just the Cowboys. They have impacts on local economy. White bread, we're not saying remove them from the city. We're just saying drop it. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Supreme. I don't buy any Supreme that has New York written on it. So any pants that have Supreme New York, I don't buy it because I'm not from New York. Britain, awful take. I disagree. Drop the city name, but keep them affiliated, of course. It would lose its team heritage, or create a new one in a new environment, in a place where the internet exists, where for 100 years it didn't. My buddy featured on your top 5 kill cams of the week back in the day. Still go back and watch that. Shit goes goated. You go back and watch top 5 kill cams of the week. Where? They were removed from the internet, wiped from the history books. Need more idiot seasons. They only can do the Wipers. Dallas Cowboys, even though they haven't. Dallas Arlington now. Yes, drop city name. Exactly. Yeah, good point there, Fears. Dallas Cowboys, even though they haven't been in Dallas forever, they're in Arlington now. I submitted an up to kill cams years ago. Did it go in there, Deco? This might be a deep cut, but bring back Hecz tunes, dude. How good were those? Jerry Jones is Cowboy. Even call it that. Jerry's Cowboys. Everybody knows where the teams are. Don't need the name. Exactly. That's the other thing. After 100 years, you know who they are. Just put it to you like this, okay? No, let's move on. Waking up to lie on Twitch at 8 a.m. is crazy. Azul. That's what I've been saying. Hecz, hire me to be your personal driver. No need to order Uber or Lyft. I'll send over my resume, working strictly for you and your team. Available around the clock. Man, thank you, man. Appreciate the offer. Scope. Thank you so much for watching the video. Bro, hey, yo. Kudos, man. The whole thing. Masterpiece. Masterclass. The shots were good. The editing was good. Put those two together and you have a recipe for success, my friend. And that's what you have. W montage. Can we get a W in the chat from a man, Scope? Please. Por favor. Some W's in the chat for how good that shit was. When you're streaming IRL fishing stream, when I'm no longer required to bring this fucking thing with me.